selling trucks, from selling dope beats, dope rhymes, dope cuts. I'll be the biggest dope dealer in history.
Kool C and Steady B had a diss war that ended with both rappers on death row. Romeo and Master Rhyme dissed Eazy-E in high school, and it destroyed their careers. And MC Lyte had a secret third diss track against Antoinette that nobody talks about. These are verified facts from Discogs, Billboard archives, and RIAA certifications. Before we dive in, here are 3 bombshells from this video. Number 1, the biggest West Coast beef you never heard of involved Eazy-E's high school classmate. Number 2, there was no actual diss track war between Steady B, Kool C, and 3 Times Dope. That's a myth. And number 3, one track got a 17-year-old kid so deep into beef with KRS-One that hip-hop historians forgot about it for 30 years. This is 10 forgotten 1980s hip-hop diss tracks that changed careers, started beefs, and then vanished from history. But first, why did these tracks disappear? Regional distribution on tiny independent labels, no responses from targets, tragic criminal cases that overshadowed the music, and bigger beefs that dominated the headlines. These tracks were erased from hip-hop history until now. Let's go. Number 1, Romeo and Master Rhyme, Crackerjack, 1987.
Blaq with the body rockin' rapper Romeo stole the show with the cold bow scratch.
This is the most forgotten West Coast beef of all time. Master Rhyme, real name Obi Price, went to Manual Arts Senior High School in Los Angeles with Eazy-E. High school rivalry turned into rap beef when Master Rhyme released subliminal disses about, quote, dirty dudes dealing dope, and references to, quote, OJ on the Shaw. N.W.A.'s response was immediate. They dropped Compton's in the House, also called 100% Diss, exclusively on the cassette single of Easy Do's in 1988. The lyrics were direct, quote, the mother effing crackerjack needs to step the F back. Romeo and Master Rhyme released a second single with a cover that said 187 crossed over N.W.A. 187 is California murder code. Eazy-E's final response was easier said than done in 1988, with a video that explicitly dissed them on camera. This beef destroyed Romeo and Master Rhyme's careers. They never released another widely distributed record. N.W.A. went platinum by July 1989. Number 2, Kool C, Juice Crew diss, 1987.
Wouldn't you believe it? I'm taking you out. The Juice Crew diss is what it's all about.
Kool C's debut single targeted Marley Marl, MC Shan, Big Daddy Kane, Kool G Rap, and Roxanne Shanté, the entire Juice Crew. The genius move? Kool C sampled Juice Crew tracks and turned them against the crew. He used MC Shan's Beat Biter, The Bridge, Down by Law, Kill That Noise, and Project Ho. He sampled Roxanne Shanté and Biz Markie tracks. Here's the twist. Kool C's voice sounded exactly like MC Shan. Many listeners thought it was MC Shan dissing himself. This track got Kool C signed to Atlantic Records and led to his 1989 album I Gotta Have It, which peaked at number 51 on Billboard R&B albums. The Juice Crew never responded. And in 1996, Kool C was convicted of murder during a bank robbery. He's currently on death row in Pennsylvania. His musical legacy was completely erased by his criminal case. Number 3, Steady B, Take Your Radio, 1985. This was an answer record to LL Cool J's classic I Can't Live Without My Radio. Lawrence Goodman, who managed Steady B, encouraged him to make this diss to generate attention. Here's the twist. Steady B was actually a fan of LL Cool J. This was purely promotional beef. The lyrics threatened, quote, you can wave your white flag as a sign of peace, but I'll still break your records when they get released. He threatened to strangle LL with his microphone cable. LL Cool J never responded. It was one-sided, the track was never included on Steady B's albums. And like Kool C, Steady B's legacy was destroyed by a criminal case. In 1996, he participated in the same bank robbery that killed a police officer. He's serving life in prison in Pennsylvania. Number 4, Suga and Spice, That's Funky, 1988. This is a completely forgotten West Coast female MC battle. JJ Fad originally released Supersonic on Dream Team Records in 1987. Then the group split up, reformed with a new lineup, and signed with Eazy-E's Ruthless Records. The new version of Supersonic became a massive hit, eventually going platinum and earning a Grammy nomination. Dream Team Records was bitter about losing them. So Dream Team formed Sugga and Spice specifically to take on JJ Fad. The accusations were brutal. They said JJ Fad used Dr. Dre as a ghostwriter, quote, trying to diss with some rhymes that Dr. Dre wrote. They accused them of stealing from Africa Bombatapa Oraba's Planet Rock. Personal attacks included, quote, one's too short, too fat, too tall, and, quote, you sassy C with the patched up head. JJ Fad never responded. Sugga and Spice released only 2 singles total and never got an album deal. Music bloggers later called That's Funky their best track, but it was buried as a B-side and forgotten. Number 5, Antoinette, Unfinished Business, 1988.
I'm gonna defend this. We can't end this until I finish the unfinished business.
This was Antoinette's first response in her battle with MC Lyte. The beef started when Antoinette's I Got an Attitude allegedly used a beat similar to Audio 2's Top Billin' apostrophe. According to recent interviews, Antoinette had no idea there were any issues. MC Lyte told her that Milk D and Giz from Audio 2 heard I Got an Attitude on the radio while driving back from Boston and thought it was dissing them. They recruited MC Lyte to respond with 10% diss in 1988. Antoinette was shocked and released Unfinished Business as her counter. The track was produced by Herbie Lovebug Azor and sampled the Soul Searchers' Ashley's Roach clip. This beef escalated with multiple exchanges. MC Lyte referenced this track in Shut the F Up, Ho! Antoinette continued with Lights Out, Party's Over on her 1989 album. After 2 albums, Antoinette left the music industry and joined the New York Police Department. The track is praised on Soul Strut as, quote, one of the best female hip-hop songs ever, but remains obscure outside hardcore collectors. Alright, we're halfway through and these beefs are getting wild. If you're enjoying this deep dive into forgotten hip-hop history, hit that subscribe button because I drop videos like this every week on tracks and artists that history forgot. Drop a comment and let me know which beef surprised you the most so far. Now let's keep going because number 6 is brutal. Number 6. MC Lyte, Slave to the Rhythm, 1989.
The talent I was given, what I'm saying, I'm a slave to the rhythm.
This was MC Lyte's third major diss track against Antoinette. Following 10% diss and Shut the F Up, Ho! Lyte continued the assault on her second album. The track explicitly mocks Antoinette's self-given nickname, the Gangstress, with the dismissive line, quote, Gangstress, don't make me laugh, ha ha ha. Lyte also said, quote, it took a whole album for you to try and diss me, and haha, slum female dog, you still missed me, referencing Antoinette's debut album, Who's the Boss, from 1989. The production featured urgent, chaotic klaxons and pulsating bassline. Producer was PMD from EPMD. This track was part of the album Eyes on This, which peaked at number 86 on the Billboard 200 and number 6 on Billboard Top Blaq albums. MC Lyte became the first female solo rapper to break the top 10 on that chart. This effectively marked the end of the beef's most intense phase. Antoinette responded with Fox That Rocks the Box on her final album Burn an Apostrophe at 20 Below in 1990, but the feud fizzled out. So why is this forgotten? It was overshadowed by the album's massive lead single Cha Cha Cha, which hit number 1 on Billboard Hot Rap Singles. The song title doesn't immediately indicate it's a diss track. Number 7. Just Ice, Cold Gettin' Apostrophe Dumb Part 2, 1986. Just Ice attacked Kurtis Blow's rhyming ability and accused him of declining skills. The genius of this diss, Just Ice used Kurtis Blow's own song titles against him. Quote, first you played basketball, now you're daydreaming. What does it take to correct your mistake? Point blank you can't rhyme. Yo, those are the breaks. He called him a, quote, lollipop liar. Kurtis Blow never responded. In a 2016 interview, Just Ice claimed he and Kurtis, quote, never had a falling out and downplayed the beef. By 2019, Just Ice and his producer Mantronic had reconciled enough with Kurtis Blow to collaborate on new music. This track was produced by Mantronic, who became more famous for the production innovations than the diss lyrics. The deliberately offbeat timing became the talking point. Why forgotten? Released during the height of more famous beefs like the Bridge Wars and LL vs. Kool Moe Dee, Just Ice's later work with KRS-One became his more remembered material. Number 8. MC Shan, Beat Biter, 1986. MC Shan accused LL Cool J and producer Rick Rubin of stealing the beat pattern from Marley Scratch for LL's hit Rock the Bells. He claimed it was, quote, total violation of hip-hop ethics to take someone's beat without credit. At a Syracuse show, MC Shan snatched LL's Rock the Bells record off the turntable and snapped it in half on stage. LL never performed that night. The track was originally released as the B-side to The Bridge in 1986, then included on the Down by Law album in 1987. LL Cool J never responded with a diss track. LL allegedly tried to physically intimidate Shan at shows. Quote, L used to try and bully me with his muscles, Shan said. Both artists eventually made peace. In a 2022 interview, Shan said they're, quote, cool nowadays. This track was completely overshadowed by the Bridge Wars. Beat Biter was the B-side to The Bridge, which sparked the massive KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions vs. Juice Crew beef. The technical, insider nature about production ethics rather than lyrical superiority made it less exciting to casual fans. And MC Shan became known as the, quote, loser of the Bridge Wars, which eclipsed all his other work. Number 9. Ice-T, I'm Your Pusher, and Girls LGBNAF, 1988.
Lyrics, no beepers needed for this drug deal. I'm the big wheel. The dope I'm selling, you don't smoke.
These two tracks from Ice-T's Power album represent early West Coast versus East Coast tensions, years before Tupac and Biggie. Ice-T versus LL Cool J feud was real. LL Cool J claimed to be, quote, the baddest rapper in the history of rap itself, which Ice-T took as East Coast arrogance, dismissing West Coast hip-hop. I'm Your Pusher was an anti-drug track repurposing Curtis Mayfield's Pusherman from 1972. It contains an LL Cool J diss featuring a rap music quote addict who declines to buy an LL Cool J record. The vocals were performed by Pimpin' Rex, who was Ice-T's friend and an actual pimp. Girls LGBNAF stands for Girls Let's Get Butt Naked and the F word. Ice-T confirmed in the book Check the Technique that this was an intentional diss. He made it deliberately crude to contrast with LL's romantic love songs. The Power album debuted at number 102 on the Billboard 200 on October 1, 1988. It peaked at number 35 on November 12, 1988. 33 weeks on the chart. Gold certification by January 1989 with 500,000 copies sold. Platinum by 2006. LL Cool J's response came 2 years later. Today Break of Dawn from Mama Said Knock You Out in 1990. The third verse specifically targeted Ice-T and attacked his rap ability, background, and style. LL mocked Ice-T's perm. The beef was resolved peacefully through hip-hop community intervention. According to Africa Islam, Mike Tyson, Flavor Flav, DJ Red Alert, and Africa Bambaataa mediated a peace meeting. Ice-T later said in NME in 2012, quote, you need a nemesis in hip-hop. We had a little hip-hop thing, but it was never serious. Why forgotten? The disses were subtle compared to later brutal 1990s diss tracks. Ice-T's body count controversy and acting career overshadowed his rap beefs. The Tupac and Biggie East Coast versus West Coast beef completely eclipsed this early tension. Number 10. Black Poet, Beat You Down, 1986-87.
Anybody in my way is getting beat down.
Black Poet was only 17 years old when he recorded this response defending Queensbridge against KRS-One's attacks on South Bronx and The Bridge Is Over. Here's the important detail. Poet was not a formal Juice Crew member, but he felt compelled to defend his borough. This track was much more violent and street-oriented than the primarily lyrical battles between KRS-One and MC Shan. KRS-One only responded with brief subliminal references. Poet eventually abandoned the battle to focus on his career, and later formed the groups PhD and Screwball. This track is completely overshadowed by the main KRS-One versus MC Shan and Juice Crew battle that dominated all media attention. It was only recognized decades later by hip-hop historians. Poet was a peripheral figure in a larger beef. The track had extremely limited distribution as an underground release. For 30 years, almost nobody knew this existed. Alright, that's 10 forgotten diss tracks, but we're not done. I've got a bonus track that's so obscure, even hardcore hip-hop heads probably missed it. Bonus track. Sparky D, Sparky's Turn, Roxanne You're Through, 1985.
Roxanne, you're through. Girl, I'm stepping all over you.
Sparky D, real name Doreen C. Broadnax from Brooklyn, recorded this on New Year's Eve 1984 and released it in 1985 on N.W.A. Records. This was her response to Roxanne Shanté's Roxanne's Revenge from 1984. Sparky D defended UTFO even though UTFO didn't officially acknowledge the track because they feared it would encourage more answer records. The Roxanne Wars yielded between 30 to over 100 answer records depending on which hip-hop historian you ask. It was the biggest answer record phenomenon in hip-hop history. Roxanne's Revenge peaked at number 22 on the Hot R&B/Hip-Hop Songs chart, making it a legitimate hit. Here's where it gets interesting. There was initial hostility. Backstage at the Roxy, Sparky lunged at Roxanne Shanté. But in 1985 they reconciled and released Round 1, Roxanne Shanté versus Sparky D on Spin Records. This was a battle track where they freestyled against each other. It was released in both censored and uncensored versions. The collaboration included both original diss tracks plus Roxanne's profile and Sparky's profile. Why is this forgotten? Completely overshadowed by Roxanne's Revenge itself and the real Roxanne. Sparky D's career never achieved the same commercial success as Roxanne Shanté. She later struggled with substance abuse issues. The reconciliation and collaboration actually dampened the narrative of ongoing beef. When you become friends with your opponent, people stop talking about the battle. But here's the thing about all these forgotten tracks. They represent the raw, unfiltered essence of hip-hop in the 1980s. Before publicity stunts, before Twitter beefs, before streaming numbers, this was real. These artists put everything on the line. Some went to prison, some left the industry, some never recovered from these battles. The consequences were real. If you want to dive deeper into forgotten hip-hop history, I've got a playlist of rare tracks and deep dives linked in the description. Make sure you're subscribed, because next week I'm breaking down the most expensive hip-hop vinyl from the 1980s that's worth thousands today. Drop a comment and tell me which of these forgotten diss tracks surprised you the most. Which beef do you wish had gotten bigger? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching this deep dive into forgotten hip-hop history. Until next time, keep digging for the forgotten classics.